Woke up this morning feeling real stink. I had the intentions to call in sick, but I end up in Jolly's Pharmacy. Great and down King George Street, Jolly's fix up my immune system. Got me feeling fit and strong, now I'm ready to work and pick on any mission. If you see me walking, Jolly's Pharmacy is number one, Jolly's walking. We cater for everyone, Jolly's walking. Boost up the immune system, Jolly's walking. Yeah. Yo, Dominic is the boy Father Box. Whenever I'm in town and I'm feeling down, I head to Jolly's Pharmacy. They boost me up real quick. Jolly's Pharmacy, leading the way in healthcare. Introducing Jolly's Pharmacy, brand new website, www.jollys.dm. It's your time to jump the line. Shop now at jollys.dm and have your items delivered in the comfort of your office. No more standing in line. No need to use your lunch hour to shop. Hassle-free shopping, safe and secure. Jollys.dm features rush delivery, 1 hour. In-store pickup, regular delivery, 5 p.m. Cut-off time, 4 p.m. It's your time to jump the line. Visit us at www.jollys.dm. Jolly's Pharmacy, leading the way in healthcare.
Who say health cannot have vibes? Well, Jolly's Pharmacy is proving you otherwise. With Health Vibes, every Wednesday morning on Q95 from 10 a.m. to 11:30. Health Vibes, education, information, and a bit of humor. And not forgetting lots of vibes. Hosted by Carlton Langdo with co-hosts Jacinta Fagan-Defoe and Trudy Kristen. Jolly's Pharmacy is bringing health and vibes together every Wednesday, so be sure to tune in. Health Vibes every Wednesday on Q95 from 10 a.m. to 11:30. Jolly's Pharmacy, leading the way in healthcare.
A very pleasant good morning to all our listeners this morning. If you are just tuning in now, you are listening to Health Vibes from Jolly's Pharmacy. My name is Jacinta Fagan-Defoe. I will be the main host for this morning. I want to say a special good morning to Carlton Lando, Trudy Christian, who are not here with us today. But I want to wish them a very, very special good morning to them. I hope they are doing well. I also want to say a very big welcome to all the visitors to Dominica for this festive season, the diaspora. Take some time to enjoy and explore the nature isle of the Caribbean. We are so very happy to have you this season, and we do hope that you return. So this morning, we will be speaking with a senior environmental health officer, and I also have with me two of our newly fledged pharmacists at Jolly's Pharmacy. It is their first time on Health Vibes. Good morning to you, Krista Coppell. How are you doing today?
Very well, thank you. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning to you, Miss Mahira John Baptist. And I'm going to, spill some beans. She is Miss WOB 2019. Today is her birthday as well. So very happy birthday to you. Good morning to you.
Good morning to everyone listening. I'd like to say happy birthday as well to our co-worker, Dylan Matthew.
Oh, very nice.
As well as our former classmate, Dahlia Lawrence.
Okay, there you go. So birthday celebrations this week as well. And to our guest this morning, Miss Kalma Louis. Good morning to you and welcome to Health Vibes.
Good morning to the general public and the diaspora who are listening. It is my pleasure to be on Health Vibes this morning. It's my first time,
All
and I
right.
hope that I'll be able to make a meaningful contribution to your listening public this morning.
Definitely. So we have four beautiful ladies in the studio today. So this morning's focus is on health concerns. At peak times, festive seasons, we have various health issues that may arise, especially with an influx of visitors, different events. And so, the purpose of having our senior environmental health officer here this morning is to shed light on some of the health concerns, that they have seen throughout the years, even this season already. And we'll be giving some health tips to not just us consumers, but also the vendors as well. Health is our business, everyone's business. And in the midst of celebrating, our culture, the different events, we want to remain safe as possible. So we will take a short break, and when we return, we will get right into our discussion. Stay tuned.
Who say health cannot have vibes? Well, Jolly's Pharmacy is proving you otherwise. With Health Vibes, every Wednesday morning on Q95 from 10 a.m. to 11:30. Health Vibes, education, information, and a bit of humor. And not forgetting lots of vibes. Hosted by Carlton Lango with co-hosts Jacinta Fagan Defo and Trudy Kristen. Jolly's Pharmacy is bringing health and vibes together every Wednesday, so be sure to tune in. Health Vibes every Wednesday on Q95 from 10 a.m. to 11:30. Jolly's Pharmacy, leading the way in healthcare.
Introducing.
Welcome back. Welcome back. You are listening to Health Vibes from Jolly's Pharmacy. So we're going to go right into our discussion, and I'll start with Miss Karma Louise. So, Miss Louise, as an environmental health officer, for those of us who have no idea what this work entails, what are your responsibilities, inform us as to what your work really encompasses and why it is so very important, not just at this festive season, but all year round.
Right. So, as you rightly said, I'm the senior environmental health officer. My responsibility is really food safety.
Right.
But at environmental health, we're very broad. So we deal with a lot of things. We deal with occupational health and safety. We deal with vector control. We have port health. We also have food safety and institutional health. So we look at our health centers, our hospitals. We do water quality. So we also ensure that the water quality, that the water that the general public is drinking is safe. So we do monitoring of those areas, our intakes, as well as our taps. And of course, we do food. So food is a very big thing for us, because not only do we do during those festive season, but we also do all imported containers. We do our supermarkets, our restaurants, to ensure that the consumers are getting safe food, and the food that is available is of a very high quality and a high standard, that our consumers cannot get any foodborne illness or any sickness as a result of that. So we are very wide at environmental health. We have staff who are out in all 7 districts. So we have environmental health officers assigned to 7 health districts in Dominica. And for Roseau, we would have a little bit more, but every district, you would have an environmental health officer. So the complaints, we do complaints inspection as well. So we do complain if there is any issue. The officers are located at the various health centers. So if a person have a problem in their district, then they would go to their officer or the district. And if you are not getting resolved, if you're not getting what is expected, then yes, there's a general office, because every health district, there are senior supervisors who would ensure that the persons would get redress for whatever issue that they may have. So environmental health is broad, and we are across with a wide range of stakeholders. So you find environmental health at ODM meeting, you find them at village councils meeting, you find them, they're supposed to have a relationship. We're supposed to have a relationship with the community, and we're involved in a very large aspect of every cross-section, different stakeholders around the island, because of what our job entails.
Well, of course, like I
Mhm.
mentioned initially, health should be everyone's concern,
It is.
everyone's responsibility.
Mhm.
I mean, at Jolly's Pharmacy, we will not have, the umbrella of responsibilities as you have or
Right.
your staff has. But indeed, if someone falls sick, because of some type of food poisoning, water poisoning, they come to us.
Yeah,
They go to other health professionals,
that's right.
and we are to advise them. But as much as possible, precaution is always, should be our highest level of responsibility.
Sure.
Before we continue, let me just give the numbers for our callers to call in if they have any contribution or questions. So the numbers are 449 3095, 449 3096, 449 3097, 616 4257. If you're listening abroad and you want to make a contribution, the number is 305 432 9624. And there's also WhatsApp available, which is 235 3095. So we have a caller very early in our program.
Hi, good morning, lady.
Good morning to you. Good morning.
A quick question. Who supervises the fishermen at the Fonkole fish where they sell the fish by the road? Because um I don't think they're doing a very good job. Whoever is supervising, or if they're not being supervised, somebody needs to pass and check the fishermen at the Fonkole outlet by the road because I don't think the fish is being so safe.
Okay, so your concern is the
Yes,
fisher.
I'm not sure because I buy fish the other time. I've never seen when the boats come in and environmental health personnel come there and check on it. I've been buying fish here for years. So and that is always been a concern of mine. So I'm glad I got that opportunity to ask who is the, well, I don't want to put the person on the spot, whoever it is supposed to be supervising, but is there supervision of the fishermen down there at the Fonkoli outlet where we sell fish? Thank you.
All right, thank you very much.
Sure.
Miss Louise, would you?
Yeah, environmental health is responsible for educating the fishermen. So we do an health education session. So the fishermen are supposed to be certified as food handlers as well. The responsibility of supervision is not that of the environmental health officer. The fisheries division would have persons. We would ensure that as a consumer, you would be a wise consumer and you would ensure that whatever you're purchasing, if you're purchasing fish, that you look out for the quality of the fish, you ensure that the person is certified as a food handler. And the person should have a food handler's ID card to display, just like the butchers. If you're going to purchase meat from a butcher, you need to ensure that the meat was inspected by the environmental department. So what we do, every person who slaughter would come to the environmental department and would give them a form after we've conducted our inspection. So like that, you know that this person the meat has gone through a process of inspection by environmental health,
Okay.
and you're consuming the right meat. Sad to say, the general public don't ask for that for most of the time. You need to know that you're purchasing from a reputable source.
Of
You
course,
understand?
definitely.
And likewise, the vendors and the farmers certify because the Ministry of Agriculture work with the environmental department, the fisheries department every time they have the basic fishermen training program. They would involve the environmental health officers and we would conduct sessions. We would conduct good agricultural practices sessions in food handling for the fresh and produce vendors as well. So it is the right of the consumer. Environmental health has the right to monitor, but the consumer has the biggest right to ensure that they take the necessary steps. Sir, your fish is not on ice and I'm not purchasing your fish. Sir, you are not certified as a food handler and I'm not purchasing your fish, because we teach those things as well as the basic fisherman training course will teach the fishermen what to do when they go out and they catch the fish, how to degut it, how to have it
Okay.
prepared, how to store it on ice so when it gets to the consumer, that is not
It's
going
still
through a
fresh,
process of
yeah.
spoilage.
Okay, I'm very happy that you informed us. I wasn't aware
Mhm.
of that information, and I'm sure our listener would be very appreciative of that information. You mentioned something that we were going to speak about later in the program, certification.
Mhm.
And especially at events like Creole in the Park, Creole Festival, other festive activities for the season, you will find many vendors, companies, selling food and drinks. And being certified is very, very important. It means that, like you said, they have gone through the process, they know the protocol for safety of handling of food and drinks. And it also ensures the consumers that they can be trusted, they have been vetted with what is the do's and don'ts of health protocol, and so we feel a bit more comfortable and safe in that regard. So I'm very happy about that. Where should an interested vendor, fisherman, or whoever in that arena, if they want to be certified, where should they go to do that?
And environmental health.
Okay.
We conduct sessions to the general public at the Roseau and around the island. So the food handlers education session where the food and the vendor gets a little knowledge of food hygiene and food safety. So the sessions are done in Roseau every last Monday for first timers and the renewal on the last Wednesdays of every month. So we run that program from January to November every year. However, during the festive seasons, whether it is Carnival, Easter, Independence, we have additional sessions because we realize that people would want to be certified for those events. And our primary goal at Environmental Health is really to have the persons have a knowledge of food safety and food hygiene to prevent any risk of foodborne illness to the consumer. So we have sessions. So over the last couple of weeks, we have had a number of sessions. In addition to our monthly sessions, we conducted like 4 sessions. And we had it in such a way that the persons who were employed during the morning time and they cannot attend the morning sessions, we had the sessions for them in the afternoons. So we had sessions at 4:30 in the afternoons just to accommodate those persons. Because remember, our goal at Environmental Health, our objective is to ensure that you have a knowledge of food safety, that when you're going to the food place, that you can do everything to prevent any risk of a foodborne illness, right? So we have to ensure that this is done. So like last week, Wednesday, we had about 150 plus persons at our sessions.
Oh, wow.
You understand? So this is what we do. And it's sometimes you think that we taught and we go back to do those inspections. And sometimes some people tend to forget what they learned. So we still have to be there reminding them, this is what you need to do. Remember what you were taught at the sessions. So we have you to do your corrective actions right away on the spot, just so to prevent any risk, right? So after we've done all that though, it is the responsibility now of the consumer. So our sessions are really there to ensure that people come. So that's why, and as I was saying earlier on, this is why we work with all those different stakeholders to ensure that we are certified as a food handler, you have knowledge. Our agro-processors, even those persons who are doing honey and they're doing their little coconut cheesecake and those little things there, we certify them as itinerant vendors just so they know that they're doing the correct thing. And we do inspections at their homes as well, just like how we will do it for restaurants and a supermarket and a hotel. So we would do inspection at those persons' home to ensure that their home is as free from any thing that would cause any problem. You know, the same way we treat a business place, we'll treat your home once you're an itinerant vendor and you're preparing from home. You understand? So lately we have had a program at Environmental Health where we're not really doing our agro-processors. So we now start on our programs where we are doing our agro-processors, we're doing our poultry farms, we're doing our farmers, just to have them at that level certified. Nice. So whatever the public receive from the farm, it will not have an effect when it gets on the table.
I'm very impressed. And again, I really was not aware that it was to that extent.
Oh, yes, it is.
I just have a question though.
Sure.
How long does it take for an individual to become certified? So let's say I'm interested in selling at Creole in the Park or Creole Festival. How many sessions would one have to attend to become certified?
Okay, you just need one session.
Okay.
And this one session will certify you for the entire year. But there is a process that you must go through. So you must attend the health education session, and not because you have to or you want to, it is by law.
Okay.
That any person who wishes to vend must attend a health education session. They must do a medical. The medical, you must go to the doctor. The doctor will do a physical for you. The doctor will decide whether they want you to do a stool test. They will, and the stool tests, those tests are important if the doctor recommends it. The doctor will ask you to do those things. They will stamp and sign your book. You attend our session, whether anywhere it is in Dominican, you can attend. So if you're from Margaret, if you're from Granby, if you're from wherever, and there's a health education session, you attend the session. It doesn't matter where, as long as you attend the session. You do your one-time session for the year.
Mhm.
You come back with your permit book that we give.
Right.
You can take to the doctor for signing and stamping. Your 2 ID size photos, your $20, and we certify you for a year. However, we give you a card. This card is to be used. If you are not conforming to regulations, this card can be revoked from you. All right.
Okay.
So we give that to you, and we have that. And even while it's all these events and all those things, we realize too that we want to train and certify as many persons as possible, because we're now saying that your cashier need to be certified. The person who is carrying the food into the venue for you need to be certified. Your driver need to be certified. The persons, and this is for a reason, because what we've noticed over the years is that the same cashier can assist. If you know, we say in our local palace still have at last show. So if the sale is hot at the time, the person assists. Now the person may not have any knowledge of food safety, and here it is that they can be creating a problem. So
Very
we're
true.
asking those persons to be certified as well. You know.
All right. Thank you for that information.
Sure.
You also, I want to extend on what you said about the importance of health tests for people who are handling food. Because let's say, for example, you have a condition, and let's say it's a respiratory condition. You're coughing, you're sneezing. Your health may not be at its best, where it will compromise your ability to sell to consumers. Then that will definitely be of concern
It would be.
to your
Right.
office and to us as consumers.
Right.
So it's very important, and I didn't even realize, that they were going so far to getting stool tests or urine tests or whatnot. And the mere fact that it broadens to everyone involved, so not just the direct personnel handling the food and drinks, but your entire team.
Right.
I mean, that is really commendable.
Yeah.
And again, it gives the consumers more incentive and better comfort that they can purchase from them. And I mean, it's better for business.
It is.
Because if let's say there are two different stalls side to side, one person is certified, they have the nets on, the gloves on and whatnot, they have the standpipe, the running water, and the stall next to them, you have the same person who is handling the food, handling the money. They probably have a basin of water that has been there for how many hours. Obviously, or I'm saying obviously, but it should be obvious to the consumers that the first stall, where you can not just see the presentation of the vendors or the team, that they are following protocol, you have their certificate that is visible, and just the entire look of it gives you that reassurance that, hey, this is a better option.
Of course. In food safety, we say your reflection is a mirror of what you can sell.
Exactly.
So what we see, that's what we get. You understand? So if you see that, that's what I want to go to the place that is meeting the standards. And these are things that we tell. This is thing that we do at our sessions. We educate you. If you have a respiratory illness, you stay away from the food. If you have this, you stay away from the food. However, I think some of our sessions now should be geared more towards the consumers, because the vendors get all this education. But what is there for the consumer? So the consumer now need also to know what is the best way for purchasing,
Nice. So we have a caller. Good morning to you, caller.
Good morning. How are you all doing?
Not too bad, thanks. How are you?
I'm doing good. You're sounding good. Very impressive with the inspections and the qualification to be a good food vendor. Just like you, I was surprised that they did all them tests, the food tests, the what you call, check your stool and all these things. I'm pretty impressed from what I'm hearing. But I have one question that I didn't hear. Do you all, well, not you, the young lady in studio, Do they go through the festival at the moment the festival is taking place and the vendors are selling to do random inspection to make sure that the food is kept at the right temperature and the people following the protocol of all of the laws that she just stated and the requirements that people have to go through. I want to know, do they go to the festival and do random inspection to keep that level of maintenance so you get a good quality? Because I will say for me, sometimes I question buying from anybody on the street for many of the same reasons you all just stated. Thank you.
All right, thank you. I think that this is a very important question. I mean, Creole Festival is one of the biggest events of the year in Dominica. And of course, you'll have visitors, diaspora, local, individuals going there to enjoy themselves.
Oh.
And I can see where the caller is coming from, and I'm sure you'll let us know.
And well, let me just inform the caller that this is something that we've been doing for many months now. So every mass gathering event, we do inspections. So we have officers already assigned to all of those things. So for Creole Festival, you have the officers, and not only are they going to be doing the stalls where the patrons are, but they're doing the VIP stores, the VVIP stores,
Every section.
the booths of the artists as well, all those areas, because there are food to be consumed in all of those booths. And our priority, as I said, is to prevent any foodborne illness. As a result of that, the environmental health officers have been doing so well and we also want to thank the vendors that we have not had any incidents of a foodborne illness reported. If there were, they were not reported, right? Even TV Village Quail, we out yesterday, our team was out and we are doing our inspections. We have our food thermometers, so we do our inspections. So we'll take the temperature of every food to ensure that it's meeting the correct temperature. And we ask the food handlers if in case it's not meeting that this is supposed to be consumed or get a read off at a particular time, as well as probably just heating up the gel fire underneath, And if you notice now, we have gone a very long way. Before, in the past, when you would come, you would see that the vendors would just have their food exposed. But now they are so educated. We have educated them, and they have done extremely well by getting their chafing pans, their warmers, their stirners. And even with their cold food, they have their cold food stored cool and their hot food hot, So we want to commend them for that. And we also want to commend them for doing an excellent job. And I also want to commend the environmental health officers who are out all the time doing that. We have an issue, however, and our issue most of the time is that the vendors know that we will come. They see our faces, and from the time they see us, they start to pull out their cards. They start to be on the pews, and then this is good. This is good to know that they respect that. However, the issue is not always with the vendor. It's the consumer. You understand? The consumer that we're trying to protect. That is the consumer who has an issue with us. Oh, I did not see the person selling their thing. And they always want to harass. But we're trying to protect you. So we're just asking the consumers, when you see the environmental health officers doing their work and trying to protect you, do not fight with them. Do not curse them. Do not be arrogant. Do not just look at them. Step aside and let them do what they're doing. You understand? Because we're trying to protect you. We know how important and dangerous a foodborne illness is. And we know that a foodborne illness can lead to death.
Definitely.
So we're trying to protect you as a consumer. And the only way we can do that, because we expect our vendors to give us the quality because they attended the session. You did not. We have the right to look out for you at that time.
Nice. We have two questions.
Okay, just a quick question. Do you also check the vendors who are outside the venue? So for example, I have fallen victim to this. Inside Creole Festival is filled, so I go outside of the stadium, probably some stores by National Bank or by the ministry to buy, let's say, barbecue chicken. And once I've bit into that chicken, there's blood. So do you check the stores outside of the venue, or is it just at the main where the function is being kept only?
No, we do everywhere.
Okay.
Once we can see you and you're in our seeing in our peripheral vision
yes.
somewhere, we capture you. So we come to you, we ensure that what you're doing it right. Because you're not only a vendor for inside the general public passing and they eat
Exactly.
as well. So we
Right.
have to look out for you as well. You understand me?
yeah.
So yes, we do everything. And this is why we try to work with city council to have them to demarcate an area where there is no vending, right? So they can vend within our coast that we know that they're there. And we do our best as environmental health officers to go out like way before the event begins.
Right.
So we want to come in to ensure that your setting and the setting is okay, that the requirement, we have a checklist. Or just to inform the vendors that we have a checklist at Environmental Health that you can collect. The checklist will tell you what is
nice.
needed. So your food handler's ID card, your water for hand washing, your liquid soap, your paper towel, your aprons, your hairnets, all these things we have available. So the person, the vendor, can come into the department and request a checklist, and the checklist will guide them. So when they go on that night, first time when you just go in a hurry, you're pussy. So you want to do everything quick. But if you have the checklist, it will tell you my water, my
Of
hand washing
course.
liquid, my first thing first, my food handler's ID card, and that of all my persons, my hairnet, and thing, And we want to remind the vendors as well that during this festive season, while you are working, is work. Si c'est travail, c'est travail. Si c'est party, c'est CEO. So if you're coming to the food establishment, we expect you to dress properly. We expect you to dress with your hairnet and your properly clad, not with your sleeveless and your pum shorts and your long sleeve
No, but
and apron. No, it's true.
very true.
It's
very
true. So you're not coming to party on that night. You're coming to vend. If you want to party tomorrow night, then you can say, I don't want to be in the bar. Let me go and party. But keep that separate and keep children out of that,
Okay, so just taking a break for a call. Good morning to you, caller.
Hey, good morning to all on the panel.
Good
A question I want to
morning.
put through. With that one session that you do for certification, you have, is it done in different languages? Because you have Haitians, you have Spanish, you have people, all kinds of people vending. So how do you cover these people and how do they get their full handler's permit when they have another language and you just have one session? Just wanted to put that in there because I see a lot of these foreigners doing vending and you say it's a one-time session. So that was just a big question that I've been hanging over my head that I wanted to put through.
Yeah,
Have a good day.
Thank you. You too.
Okay, so we have a Creole session. So we have a Creole session and we do a Creole session. So we try to get our Creole speaking persons, and every 3 months, like we would have that. And over the last couple of weeks, we have not had that person because the person who did it first now has migrated. So we have a Creole session. We put the same presentation in Creole. So we had this Creole person putting it together first, somebody from the Ministry of Agriculture assisted us, and we just hand it across to the person and he would do it. Spanish and Chinese, we have not yet gotten to that. You understand? But we will. So just bear with us. They come to the session and we try to, I think in Portsmouth, the officer in Portsmouth speaks a little Spanish. So when she would have those Spanish, she would speak something for them to be able to understand. But it's a working process. And in as much as we get the Creole people come in, we'll do the same with the Spanish and the Chinese one day. We just need, and now that we have our students, so medical students who come from China, we can now give them our English presentation and have them and say, we need you at least once a month to just come in, or once a quarter to come in and do a session for us.
Okay, good morning to you, caller.
Yeah, that's me again. It's appalling and unacceptable for that to be the situation because the language that you don't have in place, which is to say is maybe the Chinese, they are the nastiest, to say the worst. Because really and truly, they are not hygienic. Anything goes with them, and then you don't have a system in place to even put them in check. To me, that's a hazard already. Have a good day.
Okay, thanks for calling. What I would suggest to the individuals who are interested in vending, sometimes they do have friends or family members that speak their language but also understand English. So they could bring those individuals with them as well to the sessions and do the translation. For the other languages, I mean, it is a continuous effort, and I mean, you guys have been doing so well and so much already. And with in as time goes on, and with the present situation, it's just building up on your to-do list. There's another caller. Good morning to you, caller.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Oh, you're very faint. Or is it me? Is that Health Vibes?
Yes, it is. Can you hear me better now?
Hold on. I'm not hearing you clearly at all.
I'm not sure if it's probably your line, but we can hear you clearly. So if you can
Okay.
hear us, you can go ahead.
I can go ahead?
Yes, you can go ahead.
Am I live?
Yes, you are.
Oh my God, that's embarrassing. Oh, okay, sorry. So I just want to give you my story. I attended Creole in the Park a few years ago, and I wanted you to tell me what I did wrong, okay? So it was lunchtime. I went to one of the biggest restaurants out there. They had their stall properly, displayed everything. All the food is well displayed, well, the food is in the chafing pans and everything. So I purchased a crab callaloo. And after about half an hour, I found myself lying down in the middle of Valley Road, vomiting.
Oh, wow.
Vomiting.
I'm so sorry.
Somebody, I don't know who, opened my mouth and poured brandy because they figured they knew me. I don't know who that person was because I was out of it. Right? But what I'm saying, to me, if I'm seeing, first of all, it was a reputable place. The food is well displayed. Everything is fine. I bought lunch. Why should I be in that state at that time? Okay? So I'm suspecting that the food was prepared the day before, because on the second day of the festival, I purchased the food thinking that it was fresh food because it looked fresh to me, So what did I do wrong? I mean, or why did the people not do? What did they not do that had me in that condition? So I need somebody to tell me, because I would not like that to happen to anybody else.
All right. Well, that's an unfortunate experience. We're so very sorry this happened to you. I don't think you did anything wrong. As you said, more than likely, it stems back to the kitchen itself. Maybe, again, I don't know what happened, but it probably was not prepared very well. I'm hoping it was not an overnight preparation and it was not warmed properly, or it had already started to go bad. We can only speculate as to why you may have gotten that reaction. Okay, we have another caller on the line. Good morning to you, caller.
Yeah, that's me again. With the story I just heard there, I want to give an advice to eat with your nose rather than your eyes. Yeah, because really and truly, a lot of people, especially with this kind of soups and stuff, some people, when they want to get it right and get that nice taste and everything, they do the soup the day before. A lot of people do that. They don't cook the same day because they figure the tedious stuff is the hassle. So they're doing a cooking a day before. And anytime you cook 24 hours before, 12 hours before, and you come and serve that food, I asking people eat with their nose first rather than see and eat with their eyes and say the presentation was good, it was looking good. The smell is important. And some people don't have a very great sense of smell. So that's a problem again. And I can go into that, and that's just another subject by itself, why some people don't have a great sense of smell. But enough said on that. Bye-bye.
All right, thank you so very
Just
much. But before
on a
we take
point of
another, I
correction.
know our lines are going,
Yeah.
but I want to be able to allow Crystal, because she also had a question. So go ahead,
But
Chris.
I just want to make
Oh,
one
sorry.
correction to the caller. The food can look good, it can smell good, it can taste good, and you can still get a foodborne illness.
Sure.
So you don't have, it's not the matter of smell, look, and see. All right? It's just the time factor of preparation and the storage. This is what can create a problem. The caller who called before with concerns about what she ate, it may or may not be what she had eaten just a few hours, half an hour ago. It could have been something that she may have eaten previously and a while ago that before that could have caused that problem. And again, we always tell people, hot food hot, cold food cold. You understand? So if you realize that the food is not being kept, or you purchase a crab bar, or you purchase something that is cold, then you will need to go back to the person and you can request the money because this food was not stored at the proper temperature. That can create a problem.
All right, that's very true, and we'll actually go into that a bit later. But Krista, you had a question.
So, in terms of the certification, how visible should the IDs be to the consumers specifically? I mean, it should be visible to when you all are doing the random checks, but how visible should it be to the public?
Good. So the consumers, again, consumers rarely pay attention to those things. And the only way you can pay attention, you have to be wise about those things. You have to want to know what you're eating. You have to want to know if this person has been certified by the Environmental Health Department. You maybe have a card and it might be displayed, but can you see the name? Can you see the day that it was done? And can you see the expiry date on it? Because the person can really have it, but there's an expiry date as well. So the person should really have their card displayed either on them or somewhere in the establishment that when you come in, you can see it, and you can request it as well. You can look and see if the person have, you don't have to say, may I have a look at your food and card, but you look for it as a consumer. It's like going to the supermarket. And when you go there, you want to look at all the cans, you want to look at the label. Where was it produced? Is it dented? Is it expired? You understand? And this is something. And even with us at Environmental, we do imported food. So when the containers come in, the Environmental Health Officer must go to the facility or wherever the container is to ensure that the meat or the containers or the vegetable, whatever is indeed wholesome for the person. So sometimes we might go to do import a container and finding things are dented, we may pull it off and give a condemnation certificate. You understand? So really and truly, it's not just the vendors, but we really look at every aspect of food to the general public.
Okay, so we'll take another call at this point. Good morning, caller. Thank you for waiting.
Hi, good morning.
Good morning to
I
you.
must say, a good kudos to the Environmental Health, because even during Carnival, I see them walking around with their thermometer, and especially Mr. Robinson. I'm not sure the young lady that walks with him, but they are very serious. And then they test the food and then they make them put it away. I've seen it myself. And even at the park, I've seen it. After a while, he passed a first time, a couple hours after, because I was monitoring, because that's my thing. I like to monitor these things because I like to eat there. He passed a couple hours again, and then he made her put it away, and in a fresh pan was put out to display. So I must say kudos to you. You are doing a good job. And also, some people they like the food, but you're allergic to the food. Stay away from the people food you're allergic to. And don't say you will take the energy or poison or whatever aspect. So you're allergic to the crab or you're allergic to the smoked herring or the cod fish. Even though it looks pretty good, don't eat it, please, and thank you.
That's right. Thank you very much. I want to expound on what the caller said because I have heard individuals say, well, I'm allergic to crab and, lobster and whatnot, but a little Piriton, and I should be fine. I'll take it a few minutes before, 1 hour behind, some Benadryl, but this is still a risk, especially if you have severe allergic reactions to that particular food group. So please do not take a chance and end up at the hospital or, at any other health facility because you just wanted that satisfaction of that food group. So that is a no. At this point, it's 11 o'clock. We're going to take a short break and continue this very interesting discussion. Thanks.
Oh, and if they say convenience could make a big difference, then you can trust me. I know just where you should be. And that is JP Mega. The one-stop shopping, Dominica, nigga. You could be shopping and having fun with your daughter or with your son. We cater to everyone. What a happy place. Oh, JP Mega. The one-stop shopping, Dominica, nigga. You could be shopping and having fun. Bring Papa and Mama along. We cater to everyone. What a happy place. Oh, what a happy place. Purchase 6 or more of any item and you automatically qualify for a discount. Check us out at the Mega Store in Funkole, where there's lots of parking on Monday to Friday from 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. On Saturdays from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. and on Sundays from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. JP Mega, the best family shopping experience.
Who say health cannot have vibes? Well, Jolly's Pharmacy is proving you otherwise. With Health Vibes, every Wednesday morning on Q95 from 10 a.m. to 11:30. Health Vibes, education, information, and a bit of humor. And not forgetting lots of vibes. Hosted by Carlton Langdo with co-hosts Jacinta Fagan Defoe and Trudy Kristen. Jolly's Pharmacy is bringing health and vibes together every Wednesday, so be sure to tune in. Health Vibes every Wednesday on Q95 from 10 a.m. to 11:30. Jolly's Pharmacy, leading the way in healthcare.
Introducing Jolly's Pharmacy, brand new website, www.jollys.gm. It's your time to jump the line. Shop now at jollys.gm and have your items delivered in the comfort of your office. No more standing in line. No need to use your lunch hour to shop. Hassle-free shopping, safe and secure. Jollys.gm features rush delivery, 1 hour. In-store pickup, regular delivery, 5 p.m. Cut-off time, 4 p.m. It's your time to jump the line. Visit us at www.jollys.gm. Jolly's Pharmacy, leading the way in healthcare.
Who say health cannot have vibes? Well, Jolly's Pharmacy is proving you otherwise. With Health Vibes, every Wednesday morning on Q95 from 10 a.m. to 11:30. Health Vibes, education, information, and a bit of humor. And not forgetting lots of vibes. Hosted by Carlton Langdo with co-hosts Jacinta Fagan Defoe and Trudy Kristen. Jolly's Pharmacy is bringing health and vibes together every Wednesday, so be sure to tune in.
Good morning to everyone listening. This is Health Vibes from Jolly's Pharmacy. If you are now tuning in, we have been speaking about health, safety, protocol measures to be followed by companies, by vendors, by anyone who is selling food and drink of any sort to the general public. And we have with us a senior environmental health officer, Miss Kalma Louis, who has shed some light on some areas I'm sure many of us did not know of, and we really want to commend them for their great work and initiative. We have just about 25 minutes left in the program. I'm going to see how we can compact some more information as much as possible. Before we go into our next segment, Krista has an area of concern that she just wants to touch upon quickly, so I'll allow her to do so.
Mm-hmm. So in terms to the recent load shedding with Domlec, do we have like extra precautionary measures that would be taken when you do like your random checks in terms of storage of the food and so on?
Sadly, we do not have anything. But what I know for sure is that I know like a lot of businesses, some of the very large businesses, they have the generators. So they can do storage and they can keep their frozen items at a correct temperature. However, we would just want to hope that they do not turn off at any time because, it can be a little bit thing. So our officers will do a little bit more monitoring of those facilities. Right. Mm-hmm. And in terms of your home, it is up to the consumer as well. Again, it comes back to the consumer to know that. And there are tips. You want to keep a little something frozen a bit, you do less visits to the refrigerator. Mm-hmm. You understand? And I cannot tell a person to buy less. The shopkeepers, they too, people need to be very wise at that time when you're purchasing. So if the shopkeeper would have gotten the chicken wings coming on the chiller trucks, and what we've seen in the past is that some shopkeepers or a few shopkeepers would thaw out their meat in the open, at room temperature. So we're hoping that this is not a time this can be done, but rather put the meat in, store the meat quickly, and then the temperature is maintained. So when the person comes to purchase, they will. However, and this is also a concern for us at environmental health, and we just hope that the big merchants who have the chillers can really and truly maintain the temperature so the
Mhm.
consumers would not be at any risk.
All right, thank you very much for that clarification and tip. I know that you also had an area of focus for the season.
Oh, yes. So now we know that this is the festive season and you have a lot of things happening. So even small businesses and staff, you have a staff lunch, you have a staff brunch, you have a staff dinner, you have the schools, you have all those things happening. So I just want to encourage persons at that time, if you're having brunch is between a certain time. So whenever the food comes in, that people should be eating at the same time. So nobody should go past 3 o'clock or past 4 o'clock with food. And you have all type of food. You have the potentially dangerous foods. These are the foods where you may have eggs. These are the crabs. This is the fish. This is the mayonnaise. This is the thing.
Yes.
So you do not want to have anybody having a foodborne illness as a result of that. So persons need to eat their lunch at a particular time. So everybody should be eating at the same time. If you are not eating at the same time, your food is supposed to be kept at the correct temperatures. So the warmers, the stirrers, the refrigerators, those things are important. And for the schools, we want to advise the schools as well. Because, I am saying that because a person coming to work and you probably have to prepare a meal, you more than likely will get up at 4 o'clock in the morning to prepare a particular meal. And brunch would probably start at 11 o'clock. So if you had started at 7 o'clock, 8, 9, 10, 11, the food has already been left in the temperature danger zone because of the time it was prepared.
Right,
and microorganisms can already
Mhm.
start to grow and multiply in
Of
that food
course,
if it is not kept at the correct temperature. There you have a person who can, depends on the person's system, the person can already have a foodborne illness as a result or some food reaction to that. Likewise, school. A parent goes to work at a particular time. They ask them to prepare a certain meal, kalaloo. They have to put the kalaloo, they have to put the milk, they have to put the coconut water, they have to put all those things there, and the meat and everything in that. And they serve that to the children 1 o'clock, So we're asking you to go with foods that are less for the schools, less likely with potentially dangerous foods. You're okay with your akras, you're okay with your bakes, you're okay with your smoked chicken, your codfish, your smoked herring,
That's
you
good.
understand?
Right. Those are
Anything,
safer
any other
options.
potentially dangerous food would have to be prepared now or kept at the correct temperature. And it's the same with the businesses. all right?
Even so, I would add again, if it is possible, if you know that you have somebody probably able to carry on that dish later on,
Yes.
so at least when it is prepared, it
Yeah.
is stored at the correct temperature
Right.
until someone comes to collect it.
Yes.
Then that's another option.
Of course it
Or
is.
again, if you have someone else prepare it closer to the time. So if
right.
you yourself is not able to, or it be too early to prepare it, based on the
Mhm.
time you intend to share
Right.
that particular dish, then ask someone else who is able
Right.
to. So those are other options.
That's right. As well as
Mhm.
just because they are parents and you want to cut costs, ensure that the person is certified by
That-
a
exactly,
food
and that's-
by the environmental health department. Because we give any and everybody, we don't care what their standards are, we don't know what their homes are, we just give them to prepare. You understand? Myself, I'm very particular about food. And then this is the reason. You want to know that where your food is coming from
It is
is safe. You understand? You want to know that even though the person is preparing at home in the morning as an itinerant vendor, the person had a bath before they prepare your bakes for you. You want to know those things. And sometimes people don't think of those things. Those things, they don't come to their minds. You understand? But again, I always say it comes back to the wise consumer. What is it that you expect? So even while you go to the Quail Fest, while you go to those activities, you may be drinking, but you need to pay attention. Is the person properly attired? Do they have their food handler's ID card? Do they have the warmers and stirrers? Do they have different serving spoons for the food? That the one for Kalaloo is not the same one for pig snout. Are they all together? If they're all
Yes, it's
together in the
important
same
to know that,
container,
yes.
I don't want that. Mom, you don't know if I have an allergic reaction, and if I take
Sure.
Kalaloo,
It's, of
I
course,
start to get sick.
this
You're
is a
not a
real
medical
situation.
doctor.
That's
If
right.
I start to pass out there, you don't
Would
know
you be able
what
to
to
help
do.
me? Exactly.
You understand? So you need to pay. While you may be drinking your little alky and your head high, but you need to pay attention to those things. You understand?
Right.
So the
I love
consumer
that.
have to. Is the person properly attired? you see all those things, because as we said earlier on, and as I was saying earlier on, your reflection is really a mirror of what you cook and sell. What I see, that's what I buy. At the back can be Sala, but when I see you, how do you look? That can tempt me to purchase. So likewise, when you go out, when you go throughout the season, pay attention to those things. Pay attention and ensure that whatever I'm getting, it's good. So we are here, and the knowledge, the information is very good. The vendors have the information, and now I'm giving the consumers the information that they should look for when they go out throughout this season.
All right. I'm so very happy that you mentioned those. I mean, those should be, well, some of what you said should be your red flags to consumers. So hair nets are very important, especially someone who has, very a lot of hair, or even though you don't have a lot of hair, just the mere fact that strands can detach and fall into the food and whatever else. So gloves as well. I mean, to be honest, I don't see many vendors as such having gloves, but I really hope that we see many more, utilizing them. Clean running water. Yeah. Because I mentioned before that you having a basin of water where you wash your hands back and forth. No, that's a no-no. So those are really things that consumers should look out for. Sure. I know that Mahi spoke earlier this week on another program about what to look out for in terms of the food. I know our caller said some people may not have great sense of smell, and you said don't go based on that, or even though all your senses are intact, that and everything tastes good, that doesn't mean that it may be the best. But just quickly, I mean, our senses do indicate to us if something is off. So just go run through the
the tips mentioned, you want to see if the food is smelling sour or tasting sour. Right. Sometimes certain foods can even give you a cut feeling on the tongue, or even an itchy throat. We also have foods that should not be lumpy, but you know how kalalu should feel, the consistency of kalalu. Right. So when eating that kalalu, are you feeling extra lumps that are not dumpling in there? We spoke on things like soursop juice, for example. Soursop juice has milk in there, but when you know the consistency of soursop, is it thicker than it's supposed to be? So you want to look out for all those little things. Beer, for example. Did they take that beer from a cooler with ice, or are you drinking a warm beer? So we want to look out for all those little things.
All right, wonderful. Christian, did you add anything?
From general discussion, I just think that during these festive seasons, we are just a bit excited to have such various different foods. Lots of people as their favorite season just because of the food. Sure. So I think that we kind of get like blindsided, and we don't look for those red flags, and then we potentially end up in danger.
And even so, we have many visitors that are excited about tasting new cuisine. And we as locals know the consistency of what the different types of foods should taste like, what they should look like, how they should be prepared. But as a visitor, I don't know. So I'm coming to you just to taste your food, and I'm throwing it back, or I'm eating them, and then they wouldn't know if this was a correct way to be prepared. So again, we are really advocating for proper food preparation, not just for us locals, but for visitors as well, because you'd really hate for someone to come down to Dominica for their first time to enjoy all the festivities and the food, and to end up having being a victim to food poisoning because of poor preparation. All right, we have just about 15 minutes. There are some other areas that I want to explore on or to mention. With people buying a lot of food, we do have the option of preparing food ourselves to continue doing so. I'm not sure how many events allow people to come in with their own food, but if it is allowed and you feel safer with your own food, then by all means, please do so. Even so, bathroom use, Iras. It is unfortunate that many people forget that people after them are to use the same washrooms as them, and they develop a don't care attitude. I mean, I don't have to go down the list. We all know what we see, in big events, in washrooms. And I am a firm believer that walking with your own toilet paper may be a very good option. No, because come to think of it, I mean, there are workers, there who change the or put in new rules now and then. But remember, people are coming from outside, their hands are not clean, and they use the same rope. Probably it falls down, you don't know, So again, it's just an option for your safety. Again, making sure that you wash your hands thoroughly. If there is not any soap there, again, work with your hand sanitizer, your sanitary wipes, and again, wash your hands or use your hand sanitizer before consuming food. So the vendors could do all in their power, everything right to prepare their food, and then you haven't washed your hands before eating, and so you transfer the germs and bacteria onto the food, and then you may want to blame the vendors who did their part. Okay, so we as consumers have to do our part to make sure that we minimize the chances of food contamination. And again, after the washroom, please wash your hands thoroughly. Okay, so we want to take one last break. And when we return, we are going to just do a quick recap and final tips and advice for the program.
I woke up this morning feeling real stink. I had the intentions to call in sick, but I end up in Jolly's pharmacy. Great and down King George Street, Jolly's fix up my immune system. Got me feeling fit and strong, now I'm ready to work and take on any mission. If you see me walking, Jolly's pharmacy is number one, Jolly's walking. We cater for everyone, Jolly's walking. Boost up the immune system, Jolly's walking. Yeah. Yo, Dominic is the white father box. Whenever I'm in town and I'm feeling down, I head to Jolly's Pharmacy. They boost me up real quick. Jolly's Pharmacy, leading the way in healthcare.
Who say health cannot have vibes? Well, Jolly's Pharmacy is proving you otherwise. With Health Vibes, every Wednesday morning on Q95 from 10 a.m. to 11:30. Health Vibes, education, information, and a bit of humor. And not forgetting lots of vibes. Hosted by Carlton Langdo with co-hosts Jacinta Fagan Defo and Trudy Kristen. Jolly's Pharmacy is bringing health and vibes together every Wednesday, so be sure to tune in. Health Vibes every Wednesday on Q95 from 10 a.m. to 11:30. Jolly's Pharmacy, leading the way in healthcare.
And welcome back to Health Vibes, where we've had a very informative discussion thus far. Before we leave, I mean, to be very irresponsible of us not to mention about medication use, what can be done in case, after all what we've said on the radio thus far, in case you've encountered some type of food poisoning. So what can you do to alleviate the symptoms? So first things first, unfortunately, many of us feel that festive seasons give us the excuse to eliminate our maintenance meds, or say, well, it's just for a couple of days, my pressure will be fine, my sugar will be fine, and then recommends after the season. But this is very dangerous to do, especially if you know that you will be eating and drinking more than usual. So for those who are taking their regular pressure and sugar medications, just an example, there are other maintenance meds. Those help to maintain normal blood sugar and blood pressure levels along with a healthy diet. So with festival events, you know that you may be drinking much more than regular, let's be honest, and that your diet or what you're consuming will be out of the norm. So skipping out on your maintenance meds may be more dangerous to you. A lot of people may ask, what about alcohol consumption? Am I able to consume one or two drinks while still taking medications? It depends on the type of medication that you're using. That's why we are here as pharmacists, and of course, you have your physicians as well. So that's a conversation that is very important, and you need to have to know which ones are safe to consume in moderate levels, and those where you really should not, as you are taking certain types. There is a tomorrow after the season is done, so please drink moderately. Do not drink and drive. If it is that you have to have a designated driver or hire a taxi service, please do so. We really do not want any unwanted pregnancies. I know people get so carried away with the season, with the moment, with the drinking and everything. So please practice safe sexual encounters, and not just that, but health wise as well. It's not just about pregnancies, but sexually transmitted diseases. Okay, so even though you are on birth control and you figure you don't need condoms, but you are still exposed to those type of diseases. And before we conclude, like I said, we will be giving some tips as to what you can do in case of a food poisoning encounters.
Just to mention something though, in terms of the medication, I've had a lot of customers asking, should they start the antibiotics, saying that they cannot consume any alcohol with the antibiotic. Please take your antibiotics. You should not be consuming any alcohol with them, and that kind of deters persons from wanting to be on any antibiotics, especially for this upcoming weekend. But please take your antibiotics. Also, I mentioned yesterday as well, paracetamol. You have a hangover, you just want to take some Cetamol or Tylenol. That is not the best option for you to do, because you're putting your liver at further risk of damage. So something like ibuprofen would be your better choice if you have to take any pain medication. But in terms of the food poisoning, we're just going to give you a few tips on hydration, for example. So you want to replace any electrolytes that you have lost. So coconut water, Gatorade, but again, do we have Lucozade, and we have the oral rehydration salts available as well. So those should be your best friend. What you can probably do, drink coconut water before the event, after the event. So keep yourself hydrated during the event. During the event, yes, but not with your alcohol. You want to take probiotics, for example. So we have the tablets. If you want the tablets, we have the gummies. But your best probiotics would be things like yogurt, which are easily accessible.
We also have other OTC options in the unfortunate event that you probably get diarrhea. So we have loperamide, also known as Lomotil. And we also have the famous Pepto-Bismol, which also helps with the nausea, the stomach aches, that kind of thing. And we also have another mixture, probably not too familiar, but it's the kaolin and morphine mixture, which is also used for diarrhea. So we have all these products available at Jolly's Pharmacy in our OTC aisle.
All right, thank you. And I'm going to allow Miss Kalma Louis, our Senior Environment Health Officer, to give her closing tips.
Okay, let me just say a big thank you to Jolly's Pharmacies for having me on Health Talk this morning. I am sure that our listeners here and away may have gotten a wealth of information this morning. And let me just remind us that foodborne disease can have a very widespread effect and can lead to death. And we just want to ensure that all those tips that were given, that your consumers will follow, as well as our vendors, and that we'll have as Colaco team, as a custom, independence free of any foodborne illness. So after the independence, we should not have any reported cases. And remind the consumers not to fight with the environmental health officers when we're trying to protect you. And that they will be out. We will be out. You will see them nightly, and they do the mass gathering event. And at Environmental Health, we just want to wish all Dominicans, returning Dominicans, a very and happy 45th and independence celebration, and hope that they do enjoy Dominica. And to those visitors who are coming in, just coming to have a look at the World Queer Music Festival in Dominica, I really wish that it is a very good experience and that you'll return next year.
All right. Thank you so very much to you. It was really a pleasure having you on with
No
us.
problem,
You
anytime.
gave us a wealth of information, and we are grateful for that. And with us closing from Jolly's Pharmacy, we really want to wish everyone participating in the Creole season in the food, the drinks, the attires, everything, a really enjoyable festive time. Be safe. We are to be our brother's keeper, so making sure that our friends and families are safe in all aspects. And it's our time. Let's enjoy it. So with all the information this morning and with all the excitement, do enjoy yourself and be safe. Till next week, Godspare. God bless.
Jolly's Pharmacy. Who say health cannot have vibes? Well, Jolly's Pharmacy is proving you otherwise. With Health Vibes every Wednesday morning on Q95 from 10 a.m. to 11:30. Health Vibes, education, information, and a bit of humor, and not forgetting lots of vibes. Hosted by Carlton Lango with co-hosts Jacinta Fagan Defo and Trudy Kristen. Jolly's Pharmacy is bringing health and vibes together every Wednesday, so be sure to tune in. Health Vibes every Wednesday on Q95 from 10 a.m. to 11:30. Jolly's Pharmacy, leading the way in healthcare.
À présent, nous allons représenter